What's good, y'all, and welcome to my final NXT review, man. As you guys know, I have mentioned this before in previous videos that WrestleMania 40, which is of course going to be starting, day one is going to be tonight. I'm done with the wrestling videos, man. I mentioned before, I'm not really enjoying it, and they're a bitch to record. They're starting to become more of a hindrance just to record them and everything, man. So, WrestleMania 40 is where I was going to wrap this up, man, and this would obviously be my final NXT show. I will be revealing Stan and delivering. And overall, man, this was a fantastic show, man. A lot of great matches, man. Definitely the triple threat match for the North American title, man, might have been the best match on the card. It's kind of a toss-up between that and the main event between Trick Willie and Mello, which was kind of cool that they have both Booker T and Wade Barrett both on commentary tonight, which I today I should say, which I thought was kind of cool. And like we had that boy tried to throw in some like Shamone, but he couldn't because Booker wouldn't let him because he's like, I like it. Bro, when a Trick gets called up, man, I'm gonna miss him doing the Trick with that, doing the whole yeah. I like it, doing that whole thing, man. Like, I'm sure Pat will have his own version of it, man. It'll probably be funny, but it's like, it ain't gonna be the same, man, if it's not Booker or Wade Barrett doing Trick Willie. But anyway, man, this show was fantastic. We also got to see, I might mention this now, just in case, just so I don't end up forgetting later on in the show. But we also finally got it announced, finally got the reveal that we are going to be getting a Women's North American Championship match. Fucking finally, man. I think it's been long overdue for the NXT Women's Division to get a mid-card championship, which I think was always a better option compared to like the women's tag team title match, tag titles, which I always thought was kind of stupid. And kind of unnecessary, man, because nothing really happened with it, man. I don't think the division's that deep, but a mid-card title is definitely way better and suited for this division, man. And hopefully this does well enough that Triple H will bring in a women's Intercontinental Championship from the main roster too. I think that would be great. Just get rid of the tag titles altogether because they've been really doing nothing with them. But anyway, guys, with all that out of the way, let's just jump right into the actual show. So first match on the card was the NXT Tag Team Championship match between the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier. This was a great match, man. It started fast and furious, man. Braun and Baron were making the entrance. Both Axiom and Nathan Frazier leaped over the top rope and just went right at him. They would continue going. They would be on the offensive. Like they didn't even have a chance to take their shirts off. It wasn't until like Braun got tagged out with tagged in Baron was he finally giving us that they finally take off the shirt, and it was just like a singlet under it, of course. So yeah, they were going. So yeah, they were on the offensive for the early part match. Eventually Baron Corbin would recover and put the match back and go on the offensive and eventually take it back. There was a couple of really nice spots here, man. Like one of them was like Braun running the ropes a couple times for a devastating clothesline. Like, no, the speed this man was going at, bro, he was really fucking. I'm pretty sure he might have even moved the ring a little bit on the last one, right before he hit the clothesline, man, or at least the ropes were going off like crazy, bro. And Axiom sold the shit out of him, man. So shouts to him, man. There was another part where Braun went for a Frankensteiner off the top rope, which was supposed to lead into Baron Corbin catching him into a powerbomb, but he kind of missed him. I guess maybe it was like slightly out of position or whatever, and he didn't end up catching him in time to like really do it. I mean, he kind of made it work, but you could tell it was a bit of a botch. And Vic tried to saved it as best he could on commentary. Another one, Nathan Frazier went for a moonsault off the second rope onto Baron Corbin, who caught him, but he managed to reverse into that. I forget what the move's actually called, but that position that Cody puts his opponent right before he hits the code throws, where they're like up on their feet, but they're like bent over, and their back is to the floor. That move, but it like dropped them down. That they went for a standing shooting star press. That spot looked really cool, man. But we ended the match off with, I believe, Nathan Frazier countering out of an end of days into a spear by Braun Breaker to win the match, and they retained their titles again, which kind of shocked me, not gonna lie, because you guys know Baron's been called up to SmackDown for like a good couple months now. He's made the occasional appearance on SmackDown here and there, but he's still mostly been on NXT. And I figured, Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania season, the whole jam. I think, and you guys know that that's when they like to do their call-ups and everything, man, was like on the night after WrestleMania. That they were like, all right, time to take the towels off him, send Braun Breaker off to SmackDown fully, and he is finally done with NXT. I guess not. I guess Sean doesn't want to let him go just yet or something. I don't know why he's still in NXT, man. I mean, I don't know much more he can do with Baron and everything, man. But I guess they wanted to keep him a little bit longer, or maybe they're gonna have him, do both some more. I don't know. But I thought this was a little bizarre because I figured they were going to just give him the title. This is when they would drop the titles, but nope. Next up was a triple threat match for the North American Championship between Oba Fleming, Dijak, and Josh Briggs. Easily a takeover quality. Like I said, this might have been match of the night or the match between Trick and Mello, between Trick Mello gang. Like I said, it was kind of a toss-up for me for this bit, but this was definitely very much easily a takeover quality match, man. So much so that actually Dijak after the match posted on Twitter, Mr. PLE, which you should say pay-per-view because I refuse to call these premium live events. They're pay-per-views, goddammit. They will always be pay-per-views, and I refuse to call them by that bullshit. But that's just me personally. Anyway, he is definitely worthy of the name, man, because he's always been putting on some bigger matches all the way since his original NXT run with his match with Keith Lee and everything, man. So the man is definitely worthy of that moniker, if you ask me. But anyway, man. Like I said, this match was fantastic. The crowd definitely helped a lot with that match. The crowd was really into this match throughout the entire run of it, man. But yeah, this match was insane. It started off with everyone basically giving each other like shoulder tackles and big boots and all that jazz, man. Before we got to the outside, and both Dijak and Josh were on the apron while Oba Fleming was on the ground, and Dijak goes for a cross body from the apron to him, and somehow Oba catches him. Which mind Dijak is a big ass dude, and he's super tall. I think he's like what, 6'6" or something like that. He's a very tall dude, and I'm sure he weighs like well over 200 pounds and whatnot. Catches him, and then Josh Briggs tries to have it, and literally just yeets him. He just pushes Dijak a little further on and just hits him with Dijak, and just sends him flying back. I'm sure probably partially that was probably Josh selling it, but still, it was quite impressive in his sight to see him just like push him back like that, like some anime type shit, man. Like that shit was crazy, man. So we had that. You also had some other stuff in the crowd, and I believe actually it was here where Josh Briggs like spears Oba Fleming through the barricade onto like the timekeeper area. I believe it was this match, man. That spot was insane. There was a lot of crazy spots in this match, man. Of course, when you got Dijak doing his I don't know what it is called, like a swanton or whatever that flip he does off on the apron to somebody who's sitting in a chair, which he did a couple times during his match with Keith Lee. There was that thing, and then the match would keep going onward, and eventually Dijak would get in, would hit the feast your eyes onto Oba Fleming. 1, 2, Josh pulls out the referee out of the ring, stopping the count, stealing the victory away from Dijak, man, which he definitely probably would have wanted if Josh didn't just pull out the referee. But eventually, we would end the match with Oba Fleming taking the win, pinning, I believe it was Josh. Yeah, it was Josh, because he hit his finisher on Dijak and then threw him onto Josh Briggs, or I think he did his finisher on Dijak onto Josh Briggs for the actual pin, man. But yeah, this was a fantastic match, man, and probably match of the night, man. Next up was a 6-woman tag between Izzy Dane, JC Jane, Kiana James versus Fallon Henley, Kilani Jordan, and Thea Hale, man. Now, I'm a for real. If Thea wasn't in this match, this would have been my bathroom break match, man, because I mean, to be fair, the match itself was fine. It was a very serviceable match, but really nothing really to write home about. But, Thea was in there, man. You know how much I love Thea and Chase U, so obviously I was going to watch it, man. I was going to probably be invested into the match just for her. And it's good that we got old Thea Kai on cocaine Hale back. Thea, where I swear that woman does a pound of coke right before she enters the ring, man, with how hyper she is and how just crazy she is when she's in the ring, man, bro. Like, does Sean keep like a cocaine stash for this woman or something? Regardless of such, man, you know, the whole thing was obviously with her and JC betraying Chase U and betraying her, and you know, Thea trying to get her revenge and all that jazz. That was the match was just seen was when it was leading to where Thea and JC would finally meet each other in the match and you know beat each other. But there was a couple of cool spots in the match. Like you have one where like one of the girls on I believe it was Kilani, I believe it was. There's like a moonsault off the top rope onto the outside onto two ladies. That looked pretty cool. But of course, once we finally get to the part where Thea is in the ring alone with JCJ, you know, JC tries to tag in somebody, but nobody's there, and then Thea just starts beating the shit out of her. That was pretty cool. And then eventually she would like lock in the Kabor on Blondie. I forget who the chick's name was. Lock it in on her, and she was like instantly tapping out, man. So yeah, Thea got the win. It was cool. Fine, a very fine, serviceable match. But yeah, nothing really to reckon about. Next was Roxy versus Lyra Valkyria, man. And I first off gotta say, man, I've been loving heel Roxy, man. I think she's been doing great in her heel run so far. And I also gotta say, I ain't even gonna hold you guys. Heel Roxy is really hot. I ain't even gonna front with y'all, bro. Like, those looks she be getting, bro. They got me feeling kind of way. Those looks, man, bro. I'm really digging this run, man. She really. But yeah, man, heel Roxy, I've been fine. Yeah, she's been doing great work, but she's also been like really hot too during this run. I like heel Roxy. Anyway, enough me simping over Roxanne Perez, who is very fun. Anyway, so the match itself was fantastic. This was a fantastic women's match with Roxy finally regaining her championship that she never lost. I don't even know why she was even stripped of it originally. I don't know if she actually did get injured or when that whole concussion thing happened or if that was all purely storyline. Not exactly sure what was the story behind that. I don't remember if that was ever confirmed or not or whatever. But whatever the case may be, the match still was fantastic. So, obviously, Lyra's coming in here with an injured arm, and Roxy's obviously attacking that for a good chunk of the early parts of the match. Eventually, Lyra will get some offense in there. There was also this, the disrespect Roxy showed her, too, man. Like, there was this one part of the match where I believe Roxy had her up in, like, a headlock or something, and Lyra had like pushed her off into the rope, and then Roxy gives her a shoulder tackle, and then just starts rubbing her feet behind her like she's kicking up dirt to her, man. The disrespect, just disrespect. As match progressed onward, Roxy would continue to attack number 4. She would eventually get pop rock, near fall. I thought she was going to win there. This just enrages Roxy more, and I think she might even like bust her lip a little bit. There was a couple angles where you can see something on like her lip. And she had red lipstick on, so I couldn't tell if that was just her hair, like some hair got stuck there, or she was like legit like bleeding a little bit. She was like kind of like putting her hand to her hand to check it out. It might have been blood. Not entirely sure if it was blood or if it was just her hair. It was kind of hard to tell. But regardless of such, man, as from here on, Roxy is just enraged and continuously, mercilessly attacks Lyra's arm more and more. Lyra would once again get some offense in there, here and there, get some moves in there, but nothing major, as Roxy would just keep attacking the arm. Eventually, Lyra's simp shows up here, man. I forget the chick's name, but she comes in there right as Roxy has her arm against that little area that connects the post to the turnbuckle, that little like metal rod thing that she injured her arm originally. She now has that exposed, got rid of the black stuff that was around it. And right when she was about to go for it, she managed to, Lyra managed to get her hand out of the way, man. But Roxy, and she managed to, and while the other chick is on the outside, Roxy would just like push her right into her, and then they would just like slam into each other before she would throw her shoulder first into one of the ring posts before she would get in the back of the match and lock in the label lock. And then I noticed that Lyra was getting like really close. I'm like, and I was screaming at my team like, "Come on, Roxy, pull him, use the move that Sasha's playing, push her up, like push against the rope and roll over to the other side, man." I was kind of like, use Sasha's move. I was like, while the match is going on, and she does just that, man. She like grabs her, she puts her foot on the rope, then pushes herself back onto the other side of the ring, man, away from the rope, and then that's when she finally taps out, and Roxy's champion. I'm obviously happy, man. You guys know how much I love Lyra. I love Roxanne Perez, man. She's been one of my favorites since she's come up in NXT. Her and Cora J2 is another one. Lyra's been fantastic as well, man. I've been really digging her as well. I don't know if this means she's getting called up now for WrestleMania or if they're going to maybe continue on the storyline with Roxy a little bit more. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that front, man. But yeah, Roxy is finally champion again. You love to see it. Next up was the NXT Championship match between Ilya Dragunov and Tony D. Tony D. The Don. Tony D. Which, it seems like, given once the match actually started, they might be turning Tony D a face now, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still technically a heel, but, like, everybody cheers him because we all love Tony D because Tony D is awesome. But it seems like that Shawn might be fully leading into that and just turns him into a face, considering during the match of this match, you know, of course, Sax came out there with the brass. They was like, okay, use it. Come on, Dom. Use it. Use it. Use it. But he's like, nah, man, I'm not doing it like that, and tells him to go away. And which definitely kind of makes me wonder if they're gonna maybe turn him into a face now that he's not using heel tactics. There was another point in the match as well that I thought was interesting, where Dragunov had Tony D up and he was like staring and said like, do something, do something. He gets on the ropes and Tony D tells him like, I got this, tells him to to back off. So, I'm kind of wondering if that's what they're going to be going on with Tony D's character in the future. There was a part, I was kind of hoping Tony D would win the title here and Ilya Dragunov would finally get called to the main roster because it's definitely time, but I guess they're going to keep him in NXT just a bit longer. Regardless of such, man, this match was fantastic in its own right, man. Obviously, Ilya Dragunov's hand was like the main thing that Tony D was attacking throughout the entire match, man. And there was also a couple weird spots. I don't know if these were like planned spots or if the ropes were just really slippery because this was like around the end of the show, because there was 2 points of where both men would just fly overboard the top rope. One I'm pretty sure was maybe, I don't know if they were, I'm pretty sure they probably both were on purpose, but I don't know. Regardless, man, there was this one time where Ilya Dragunov lifts up Tony D in a suplex, but they're like right by the ropes. They move over, and they both go overboard and like topple down to the outside. There was another point as well where Tony D had Dragunov lifted up in like the position that Mark Henry does right before hits the world's strongest slam, and once again they get thrown overboard. So yeah, and Tony D was obviously attacking Ilya Dragunov's hands throughout the entire match, man. He would injure a little bit more when he tried to go for a chop on the ring, on the one of the ring posts. Of course, then you also did one part where after Tony D told Stacks to go away with the brass knucks, that Ilya Dragunov stomps on his hand for his troubles, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, as the match would progress onward, they'll go on to the outside. They both had the same idea, clear off the Spanish announce table, and Ilya Dragunov would hit a super H-bomb onto the outside, or onto the announce table, crushing it. But actually, before that, he hit another H-bomb on the outside, right beside the table. He said like, "It's not over!" before he does the table spot, man. I love Ilya Dragunov, but he's fucking awesome. But they get back in the ring. Ilya Dragunov does another super H-bomb from the top rope onto Tony D to retain the title and win the match. This was a fantastic match, man. This was probably my third favorite match on the card, I would say, probably my third favorite match on the card, man. And then finally we had the main event, Trick Williams and Melo going at it for the main event, in the main event, excuse me. Now, like I said before earlier in the video, this was a toss between this and the triple threat match, and which one I thought was like match of the night, man. But this was an incredible match, man, as well. First of all, I love that Melo came out wearing this like Killmonger vest, which I thought was a nice little touch going on there with man that he was rocking them. I thought that was a nice little touch. Once the match gets started, of course, these guys are going at it after each other, or rather, Melo is just disrespecting Trick throughout the early portion of the match before he gets thrown to the outside. He like slaps him upside the head, then just slaps him in the face, and then of course that sets Trick off, and they go off into the outside, beating each other, and they somehow circle back to the other side of side, where I think that's where they met Trick's dad. I think it's the commentary never specified who this was, but I'm assuming it's Trick's dad. And Mel just slaps the hat off of his head, just flicks it off, and that sets Trick off. And they go back in the inside, and they keep beating each other up some more. And as the match progressed onward, man, Trick would this poor ref, man. Trick would like not get knocked into the referee who was stuck in the corner, which of course takes him out. Trick, or rather Mello, comes out with a steel chair and is about to start beating Trick with it, but Trick manages to grab the chair and contemplates for a second to whether or not he hit him, and then he just starts beating him with the steel chair. And I was gotta say, bro, shout out to Mello with how he was selling this, man, where he was like kind of like pushing himself back up with each hit to make sure he got a good bounce. That each hit made sure it had a good bounce to it. So shout out to Mello, man. Shout out to him. And then after that, he keeps bailing him. Then the referee Vincent comes in there. He takes a chair away, but of course, while he was putting it away, Mello hits him with a low blow, pins him, near fall, and Mello's face says on Mello's face during that moment was beautiful, man. He sold this perfectly. And then as the match would progress onward some more, the referee would get knocked down again. The referee gets knocked down again, man. And like I'm just like this poor referee, man. This absolute poor referee. Anyway, as the match would progress onward, and a new referee finally showed up, Trick would hit him with a high knee while they were both running at each other from the ropes, and of course that would give him the win. So yeah, like I said, this was a fantastic match, man. Possibly match of the night, man. Like I said, it was kind of a toss-up between this and the Triple Threat, man. But yeah, this was a fantastic show, and overall, my final verdict for Stand and Deliver 2024 is going to be a 9.5 out of 10, guys. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow me so you feel like it. Links are across below, and as always, back for more. See you guys next time.